Okay, so it's time for this week's episode of 2 Minute Tuesday. It's episode number 173 of 2 Minute Tuesday. And this week we're going to take a quick look at what lawyers do for you if you're looking at buying a property here in Spain. So it's some tips and tricks and what you should look for in your lawyer when you're going to purchase property here in Spain. So welcome, episode 173, 2 Minute Tuesday with Hundon Valley Homes. Okay, I guess one of the first things is, do you need a lawyer when you're buying a property here in Spain? Now, I'm sure if you are or you have purchased property in your home country, you will have used the services of a qualified real estate agent and a lawyer in order to do that. So if you're coming to a foreign country where the system is different, the language barrier, the processes and things are maybe similar but subtly different, you'd be daft not to use the services of a lawyer. So it really is important that you get the right lawyer when you're coming. So we've come up with some points here to help you get the right lawyer. So the first thing is language. Now, if you don't speak Spanish, then obviously it's going to be difficult for you to understand documents, but most of the lawyers will speak Spanish and one or two other languages. So English is still the second language, so most lawyers that you deal with will speak English and Spanish. But increasingly we find lawyers who speak French, German, Dutch, Polish. There are a multitude of languages, so it's important to find a lawyer that speaks your language, because communication is going to be so much easier. The next point that we have is a lawyer who is a specialist in the kind of property that you're buying and the area that you're buying. Now, what I mean by this is that you might find that some city or coastal lawyers are used to dealing in properties, apartment 3A, apartment 11C. And they're used to dealing with urban properties. And if you're buying a property in a rustic area and it's a rustic property, these lawyers are qualified to deal with the sale. But a lot of it is the way that they approach the local town hall. They know how the system works. What is a rule in one town hall will be a different rule in another town hall, and their interpretation and things like this. And we've had instances in the past where people have used lawyers from Valencia and Alicante, and they've spoken to people in the town hall in perhaps the way that a local lawyer wouldn't, and that's not good for the efficiency of your sale, let's put it like that. So find a lawyer that is used to dealing in the kind of properties and the area that you're going to be living in. The next one we have is this is again what the lawyer actually does for you, but this is about checking all the paperwork. So as an agent, when I go to somebody's property, I ask them to get copies of their escritorum, the licenses and documents, and I have a go at looking through and seeing if I can highlight any issues that need addressing before we put the property for sale. What we then do is we then explain to the vendor what they need to do in order to rectify this, and it's normally done by their lawyer and their architect. However, your lawyer's job is to check that this work has been undertaken. So to make sure that the property is correct, all the escritura is up to date, the escritura is the deeds, so that the deeds are up to date. That any additions that they've done are documented, so if they built swimming pools and garages and extensions and things like that there are no mortgages on the property, or if there is a mortgage, that it's paid off prior to the completion. If there are any fines or demolition orders or infractions, make sure that the property is perfect so that when you buy it, everything is there. And remember that your lawyer is representing you. They're not representing the vendor, they are representing you, so they are independent. The next thing is about handling money. Now, obviously you don't want to be sending money directly to the vendors, you don't want to be sending it to the agent, because the agent is actually employed by the vendor. So your lawyer is sort of a bridge between you and the other side. So if you have a good lawyer and they have a lawyer's client account that you can use, you can then transfer any deposits or the final payment into the lawyer's account, and the lawyer will only release it when they're satisfied that whatever needs doing, or if it's on based on a time, that a month after you sign a contract you pay 10%, then the lawyer will do that. So you will transfer the money to your lawyer, and then the lawyer will make the payments. The next one we have is a power of attorney, which is called poder here, or a POA. And this basically means that if you're not able to come to the notary, or you want the lawyer to act on your behalf or in your absence, you can give the lawyer a power of attorney, and it's a limited power of attorney, so it allows the lawyer to do certain things on your behalf. And this can either be applied for at a notary, or you can do it in your country of residence, but it involves finding a notary there who will then give the power of attorney back to the lawyer here in Spain. It's a bit convoluted, so if you can do it whilst you're in Spain, it's much, much better. Number 6, following on from the poder, by having a poder, it will also give your lawyer opportunity they'll be able to open bank accounts for you, close bank accounts, connect utilities, do wills. There's lots of things that with the power of attorney, if you want the lawyer to act on your behalf, they can then do that. And if you're using one for buying the property, it may well be that you could use it for selling the property as well. Next point we've got is taxes. So lots of the lawyers are also fiscal lawyers, so they can do taxes for you. So if it's a holiday home, then they can do your annual non-residence tax return. And we have a video on our website about non-resident tax returns. So if you have a holiday home and you're not paying it, then look up that video on our website, and it will give you all the information. Also, if you live here in Spain and you're a fiscal resident, then you need to do an annual tax return as a fiscal resident. So the lawyer will also do that for you. And finally, it's just something, we find that a lot of our clients who use the local lawyers in either of the Rondon villages will nip into their lawyer's office when they get a letter from the tax department or something like that. They'll just, when they're in the village having a cup of coffee or meeting friends, they'll just dive into the lawyer's office and ask some questions of the lawyer. I think you find in Spain that you deal with your lawyer more than maybe you would if you were in your home country. So your lawyer is, you're in more contact with them than maybe you would be in your own country. And that's it really, all one take, this one, so I don't think I've stumbled too much as we're going through it. If you have any questions about this video, or about the buying process, the selling process, you want advice on lawyers, please feel free to get in contact, and we'll be more than happy to help you. My details should be on the screen at the moment, so if you do have any questions or queries, drop me a line and I'll be pleased to help. So until the next episode, we wish you all the best and have a fantastic day, and we'll see you then. Till then, adios.